All righty, what's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody is having a lovely start to their weekend. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. Guys, you almost got to new all-time highs this week. You gapped down, you had a Black Monday, you got bought up almost to new all-time highs, and then you crapped the bed into the end of the week. What does this tell us, guys? Weekly structure, bullish. Be bullish on the dip. Daily chart does suggest we are probably going to be getting a little bit more of a pullback. We're going to go over in this video on the tickers we cover, where we are going to be watching for buyers to step in on that pullback. All right, so we're going to cover the indices. We're going to go over the Mag 7 stocks, the semiconductor stocks. We'll cover Bitcoin. Then I have some trade ideas at the end of the video just for you. All right, so we're gonna actually kick it off here with the weekly candle, guys. We did have this nice upper wick to close out the week. We did, we know what caused that upper wick. We had a Friday sell event. Why? Because Trump is saying the tariffs could be coming around as soon as tomorrow. I don't know how this is all going to pan out, but I'll tell you right now, the guy's doing some things, and the market is saying it doesn't like it. But I'm just going to say we've had plenty of chances to sell here, plenty of chances to sell, and every single black swan bearish catalyst that has came out is just being bought up. So I do not think this is going to be any different from what we have seen the past month, past 2 months. I don't think it's going to be any different. I think we are very likely just going to continuously get bought up here. We had NASDAQ being down 5% on this day, and yet we still had the S&P 500 dragging itself back up, coming within $1 from all-time highs. Okay? You are very likely going to see prices get to new all-time highs. You just got to be patient on it. I can't tell you how soon that's going to come, but I'll tell you right now, if Trump didn't come around with these tariffs, the S&P 500 would have very likely been up at new highs today, and then we would probably, just everyone would be having good times. Next week will probably just be straight green, give us no catalyst at all. Price action is just going to do how the charts are set up, and that's how price action would perform. Well, guys, charts, we have bullish structure here in the weekly chart. You held your, swing low right here. Like, this is what I'm saying. You had the chance to sell over here and really damage this weekly chart. Now you got to sell back down to the low to really damage the weekly chart. Do I think you're going to get a $25, $30 sell here? No. All right, which tells us the dip, buying opportunity. On the downside, where are we going to be paying attention, guys? Prices right here on the short-term daily moving average here. On the blue line is the 9. The white line is the 21 EMA. On the downside, we have 599.70, 597.75, 594.35 gap right there, 589.20, which is right by the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, and then you have this 585 gap down below. If you get back down here, guys, you don't break 582.50. You break 582.50, you're coming back down here to the lows. I don't personally think that's going to happen. I don't think we're about to see a $25 move down. I think it's very likely that, this is probably going to just hold up somewhere over here, all right, and move back up the highs. But worst case scenario, and get ready for it, because we're going to take advantage of it if it comes, all right? We're talking April expiration this time around, all right? Those are the dip buys. If we get this extreme dip buy, all right, you better make sure, if you're buying calls, all right? You're buying time on that. You want to give yourself time for this, correction here to play out, because at the end of the day, we know this dip is going to be a buying opportunity for a move to new highs. Okay? I'm actually just going to skip over here to Mr. VIX, and I am going to point out VIX is consolidating in a giant pennant here. I don't know if it's going to be breaking out next week, but it's definitely something to pay attention to. And if it starts getting above 1806 right there, this thing could start going for a ride back up the highs, 2204. Okay? I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but I am putting it on your radar here. In the weekly time frame doesn't, look any, nothing crazy here. It's not, telling us it's just going to skyrocket. But here on the daily time frame, we can see this consolidation, and this does lead to, those expansion style moves, those trending style moves, those impulsive style moves. I'm just saying that could be coming around the corner over here on VIX, and it's something to, take advantage of. Anybody who tuned into the last weekly update knew that if you got the dip Monday or Tuesday, you were a buyer on that dip. No financial advice will be given here on this channel, but I will gladly share my opinion, gladly share my views, and what I think is going to make someone money. I personally trade myself, and I do my best not to talk as much as possible about my own personal trading, because I don't think people are here for that. I think most people are here just for, the charts. But, I'm just going to tell you, I will always give you my opinion on what I am doing to try and maximize what I make in this market, and, trying to, just trade this market in general. You're defensive, you're aggressive. I'll point out the times to, do so. I was pointing out last week, if you had that, Monday or Tuesday sell there, it was going to be a buy the dip event over there for the move back up to highs over here on SPY. It was very obvious. We got it. If you took advantage of it, congratulations. All right. We had a good week. I personally, took, gains on things to start off the week. And I spent, the end of the week also taking some things off the table ahead of, next week we have Google earnings coming up. We got Amazon earnings coming up. And I wanted to take advantage of, any dips that we get across the market. So, hey, take, risk off of the names that that just played out, and also have those that volatility income, and that you don't know which direction it's going. All right, you caught the pre-earnings run-ups on these names. There's no reason to really hold through earnings. I'm just gonna say I am an advocate for that. I don't personally like holding through earnings. I do it occasionally depending how the chart is set up, but I really do not like doing so. With that being said, Google looks like it's about to explode. I did my best to, I trimmed the shorter dated contracts. I got a few, remaining over here. I got the 215C, but at the end of the day, March calls are what I was sitting here loading up on. I took the risk off of the 221 calls, and we started loading up some March calls. All right, I took the opportunity to get some Amazon, but guys, these are the dips that I think are going to pay. Amazon gets a pullback to 233, or maybe even all the way back down here at 229. That's a dip by opportunity that's probably going to pay. Now, with that said, you do have earnings over here, but you got things like Tesla, set up in this giant pennant over here. What's about to freaking happen? We don't know. Nvidia is over here. We know downside is limited over here on Nvidia. What happens if King Nvidia over here turns around? And this is a recipe for the market's going to bounce. Downside is limited by the dip. No financial advice in this channel, but that's what we have a recipe for. That's how you are going to make that money on this next move. All right, you buy this dip, you take the profits. Okay, I don't want to be annoying about anything, but I will be, your reminder here to take your profits as they come. They don't stay. If you're trading options, guys, things will go up 50% one day, and you'll be down 50% the next day. It can happen. All right, so when you got the money and your targets are hit, you're taking the profits, okay, and you're waiting. So you can reposition into, other swings when things set up. Okay, guys, things don't happen all at once. And I'm just telling you right now, right? You take the profits off this week. Guess what? Those same profits that you took off, you're going to get a dip by opportunity next week. Okay, I'm personally loading up over here on Nvidia. April calls over here. That is, what I'm looking at is a free money opportunity. I know the whole China tariffs thing is happening. None of it's really good for Nvidia. What's going on here? The past few days with what happened, the whole DeepSeek thing, and now you have that, and now you have China wanting to, also do their own version of tariffs over there. All right, just a bunch of bad stuff for what it sounds like Nvidia. Okay. Nobody's liking Nvidia right now. I'm telling you right now. Okay, we're looking for the bounce. We're looking for that not 9%, 10% bounce from this close right here. We just about got down the next day. You didn't all get all that move there, but you did get a 9% bounce there. And I do think, guys, if you hit this line again, you're probably going to get another 9 to 10% bounce over the coming 1 to 2 weeks, just like we kind of got over there. Bottom to top, you definitely got that 11% move. Happened all in one day, guys. When you get down here, the rubber band, it's stretching, guys. It's only a matter of time till it snaps back, all right? So, this is what I told you guys, I don't want to be annoying, talk about what I'm doing. I know we're here for the charts, but I do think this is the clear as day money-making opportunity over here. March and February calls. I think this thing's going to be back up at 135, 140. Give it 1 to 2 weeks. okay? And, you know, at a minimum, if you come down here over here, you know, 115-ish, 112 to 115, where I think, you know, you have a possibility of coming down to Monday, I'm going to be a buyer. You know, guess what? I think it's a very easy money making opportunity here to play it from here back up to, you know, a retest over here of 127.67, okay? You know, that's what I'm seeing over here. So I'm personally, you know, taking profits on other things, and I am just going to be focusing here on Nvidia. You know, Tesla over here, this is another one that I am focusing with the March expiration over here. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, you have Google set to rip, you know, on Tuesday over there. Amazon still in this uptrend over here. You didn't have big tech earnings take you down. You didn't have FOMC take you down. You didn't have DeepSeek take you down. You didn't have tariffs take you down. The market wants to get bought up, ladies and gentlemen. Say it with me.
That was easy.
That was easy. The market wants to get bought up. All right, guys. So, you know, if you're a swing trader like myself, yeah, I'm just going to say it's pretty easy at this point in time. You see the dip next week, buy the dip. You know, use your time. If you're trading shares, okay, that's great for you. You don't have to worry about anything that I was just talking about, okay? But, you know, at the end of the day, it is a clear as day. Everything is still trending upwards. Buy that freaking dip if it comes. VIX could provide this volatility spike, all right? But all that's going to do is give you a buying opportunity, okay? Now we're going to actually come back over here to SPY. We're going to finish off with this, okay? You follow the yellow brick road. I think it's going to be one or the other here, okay? I think you either come down to, you know, 599.70 and bounce back from there. You're going to hold the short-term moving average, or you have, you know, yourself in for a larger correction where we come down to the golden pocket of this most recent advance to new highs, from the bottom up to new highs. But, you know, I'm also just going to highlight this, guys. Over here, you had no trend. You had a high, okay? You had a high. You had a lower low compared to over here. You had a lower high compared to over here. You had a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. And then what happened over here, right when you broke above there, you had your first higher high. The tide has started to turn. This is what I'm saying. People are going to continue being bearish. You know, I was making money on each one of these swings. All right, maybe you got to sit through some red, but, you know, I'm just talking it, you know, I'm just telling it how I like to do it. You know, it's not going to be perfect for everyone, but I'm telling you right now, you know, just like on these swings over here, when the market looked like it was going to fall off a freaking cliff, it didn't the whole time. This is nothing over here. This just made new highs. This is clear as day. Just going to put in, you know, a swing low over here, a higher low compared to over here, and run out to new highs. Now, if somehow this thing, you know, comes down here and takes out this low, we see a massive $25 move down within, you know, by Wednesday. Yeah, the market's crashing, and, you know, things are changing. I'm completely wrong. Everything goes out the window. It is what it is. That's the backup plan. It goes out the window, readjust, do whatever you got to do. All right. But, you know, until that happens and the market does prove to be crashing, yeah, we're going to stick with this mentality. Okay. On the upside, what are you paying attention to? You got 602.13, 605.36, 610.78, above there, 615 and 620. All right. On the downside, you got 599.70, 597.75, 90, 594.35, 589.20, and 585. Coming over here to QQQ, guys, just like SPY, you got that similar inverse head and shoulders kind of look to it. It doesn't have to be picture perfect, but, you know, the structure is what's important here. You know, on the weekly chart, you got the bullish structure. You got the picture perfect break and retest going on here. You're putting this inverse head and shoulders kind of pattern over there. All right. And, you know, you're almost back up to highs. Expect buyers on this dip. It's pretty crystal clear. You got heavy volume on the week. You got the big gap down, guys. What do we got the heavy volume on? The big gap down, the market crashed. The market bought it heavier than it normally does. Boom. All right. You also got bought up right here from the golden pocket. So that's something as well. All right. So it's just proved that it was just the retracement. Now, I don't know what's going to happen here, because you got a big old fat bearish engulfing candlestick with a nice upper wick here with the heavy volume on the day. I can't tell you what happens. Okay. Because, you know, Papa Trump over there wants to freaking, you know, do his tariffs. He's going to do his tariffs. We're just going to have to sit through the pain in the short term. It's like quitting a bad habit. You're going to be in a bad mood for like a month, or, you know, whatever it is, 2 weeks, month, whatever it is, that period where you're just pissed. You're just like, and you just, you know, you're going to be pissed. And then After that month, you then have good times. Okay. Then you're like, oh, my life is actually improving. There you go. Oh, everything's getting better. Oh, there you go. All right. It's exactly like that. You got to go through that pain period to get the growth. It is what it is. It's like improving at anything. You have to go through the period of being uncomfortable to get to growth. I'm not saying Trump's going to be great for the stock market in the short term. Definitely not. But I do think, he's going to probably be good for the economy. There's no reason to do what he's doing if you're not trying to just absolutely fix the economy. There's absolutely no reason to. He's trying to restructure how things are done. And that's kind of crazy to me. I don't want to talk politics because apparently people think I'm crazy when I talk about these things. But, I'm just saying he's trying to switch how things are done. It's kind of insane. And I kind of love it. Kind of love it, kind of hate it because of what he's doing to the market. But at the same time, I'll just take advantage of this dip. And I'm planning on making more money off of, I'm going to get another opportunity by Nvidia. All right. Aside from that, guys, I'm just holding on to some things, March expiration. And, Google over here, this has been my golden goose over here of what I've been paying attention to the last few days. This is the thing that I think, straight up relative strength up the wazoo. There's no denying it. You had it seen over here when the market was down. This thing I noticed it wasn't selling. So I was like, okay. And then you had it the next day, and then you have it this day when the market just wants to fall off a cliff. What does this thing do? It barely falls. All right. And then, you had that spike in 10 in the day. This thing's probably going higher, guys. All right. It's probably next week in the short term. No matter what the market's doing, this thing is probably going to be going higher. We'll see what happens over here. If it pulls back, clears the buying opportunity. All right. But, again, earnings are right over there. So like I said before, I like to personally lock in profits before earnings. I'll hold some through earnings. Depending on if I like the chart or not. And there was that. Okay. Come back over here to QQQ. What do we got over here? On the downside is support. We have 517.99, 515.58, 510.15. You want to hold 507 because if you don't hold 507, you have a risk of coming back down to 499.70. On the upside as resistance, you have 523. 525.97, 528.15, 531.24, 533.82, and 539.15. I know we're probably not going to need to talk about these to start off the week because price is going to be somewhere either right here or it's going to be somewhere down here. One or the other. We're not getting up here, but this is the weekly update. So, anybody who wants to prepare and wants to put what I got on my charts on their charts, you have the exact levels. You could see them on the screen, and if you are someone who's not watching the YouTube video, but you were just listening to it, I will say the levels out loud for you. IWM, all right? What are we talking over here, guys? What are we talking, all right? You got the breakout. You got the flipping of supply into demand. You got the flipping of the short-term moving averages, resistance, into support. You now have consolidated for a straight 2 weeks. All right. 1.5 to 2 weeks, something like that. You've consolidated for that amount of time. This is getting ready for a move. I don't know if it's going to be up or down. I really have absolutely no idea. I think we're probably going to know to start off the week, though. With how this is looking, it's looking like it's poised to either gap down under here. Okay, so underneath 226.64. Going to break 224.66 and then come down to 222.71 and then 220.23 gap fill down there. Or it's poised to gap up near 228.04 and come up to break 230.55 and then 233.40 and then 235.92 and then 238.60. All right, it's one or the other. We're going to see what we get. All right, your support. It's going to remain 226.64, 224.66, 222.71, 220.23. Upside resistance 228.04, 230.55, 233.40, 235.92, and 238.60. Break here. That's that 239.43 level. Good things are about to happen. You're about to push highs. 244.98. Yeah, guys, I do think a pullback is coming. I've been, kind of hitting at that. I think it's coming right here to start off the week, just like we had to start off last week. I don't know exactly how this is going to go, but we could see a big fat bearish engulfing candlestick that is engulfing 3 trading sessions worth of price action. Is probably going to lead to, a breakdown over here. So I'm going to be watching 438.04 and then 433.20 for buyers to step back into this. It is very likely either going to find buyers off of this level and push back up the highs, or it pushes down here, 233.20, and then pushes up back up the highs, 451.55. All right. Now coming back over here to VIX, just a brief reminder of what we talked about before. Big old pennant right here. This is compressing. This is getting ready for a move. All right. I didn't think it was ready over here. I pointed out over here how it keeps getting, so volatility keeps getting sold. I don't know how this is going to go, but I do think we're going to get a juicy dip buy opportunity over here in the markets if this thing breaks out of this pennant. So I'm going to be watching for it. I'm going to set an alert right here at, just underneath 18, because if 18 gets hit, you're definitely breaking out of this pennant. You're breaking above the key level here that brings a lot of reactions. And then at that point, you open yourself up to this rejection. But what happens if you get through it? Big impulsive move. All right. Rejection. What happens if you get through it? Impulsive move starts up. Rejection. What happens if you get through it? Impulsive move starts up. Okay. So, this is the level that's been respected recently, 1806. That is the level I'm going to continue watching. Get above there. Big move is probably coming in the markets to the downside. I'm not going to say big move to the downside. That's probably going to scare people. But, big move over here on VIX. I do think it could bring a decent pullback over here on SPY down to here, 597. No, 589.20. So 590 over here on SPY. I think that's potentially what we could hit next week. All right. But again, we're looking for it to get bought up to new highs. Goog. Kick it off here with the Mag 7 stocks, guys. Take the measure move from this pennant. All right. I like to be conservative and take the, smallest move I possibly could. Smallest bottom to top measurement. Same thing I like to do on the double bottoms. I always take the shorter leg of that double bottom to the neckline and use that as the measure move. Well, right here, guys, just taking right here the most recent touch point down here up into the neckline, upper trend line of this, whatever we want to call this for this pennant, bull pennant. You broke out today. You got your first daily close above. And now we're probably going to start that $9 move. So $9 above 202.88 brings you to all the way up here at 212, guys. So, I do think we're going to hit 210 in the short term. I do think it's coming. And if it pulls back, it's probably going to get bought up the next day. It's probably going to perform just like we got on our buddy over here, Amazon. All right. All these dips, they just keep getting bought up like this over here. Bought up, bought up. All right. Goog is just like this, breakout mode. Amazon is also in breakout mode, but Goog, sexier breakout mode. Specifically over here on the weekly chart, this is something I want to highlight. We're going to remove all the clutter here, get rid of everything. This thing just exploded and printed a bullish engulfing candlestick, as the markets did not print anything of the sort. Markets printed a nice upper wick there. Okay. What did Goog end up printing? It printed a bullish breakout from the bull pennant that consolidated for 1.5 to 2 months here above the previous all-time high. Okay, it's a bullish right there. Also consolidated above the weekly 9 over here, short-term moving averages, and now has broken out from that bullish pennant. Yeah, this thing's about to explode, ladies and gents. Just look at the weekly chart. Like, I don't know if earnings is going to give it the pump. That's what I was saying. March calls, I think of the move over here. Who cares what happens off earnings? I think it's going to be good. I'm taking the profits if it gives me my pump off earnings. Like, this thing is going higher, ladies and gents. This thing is going higher. It just broke out. All right. There's my crystal ball right there on Goog. Amazon, guys, you're respecting over here on the daily 9. You keep finding buyers off it. But just realize we just reverted back to the mean over here, consolidated for quite some time, consolidated for 1.5 months, and then broke out of this bull flag over here after pulling back to the breakout level, 215.90, as well as the weekly 9, just like we did over here, pulled back to the breakout level and the weekly 9. All right, weekly 9 right over here. Actually, yeah, breakout level is right here. You retested it and pulled back to the weekly 9. So we have 3 pretty much identical setups over here where you consolidate in like a flag-like manner here and then bust it up. This one is the most consolidation out of all of those. I think this move is probably going to bring us to 250. Earnings are this week, so that is going to be a big component on how this thing moves. But I do think it was compressing, and now it is going to be leading to an impulsive move to the upside. All right, you've had a whole bunch of consolidation here. You had the relative strength over here. You got bought up. All right, now I do think it is probably time for us to start moving higher. All right. That is on Amazon. But again, if market dips to start off the week into Thursday, that's going to be a dip by opportunity for earnings on Thursday. I really don't know how those earnings are going to go, but again, the thing looks crazy bullish over here. Monthly time frame, weekly time frame. We just had our consolidation pullback, revert to the mean. We just had it. This is like week number 1 of breakout, pretty much. It's week 2, but it's pretty much week 1. You didn't do much. You did the same thing you did last week. It's getting ready for a move. All right. You can also come over here to Meta. All right. Daily time frame. What we got on the weekly time frame in Amazon is pretty much what we got right here. What happened? All right. You went higher. Okay. You got that. I'll come over here to Amazon. And you got that. Looks pretty identical to me. All right. Higher price over here on Amazon. Apple. All right. I personally took everything I had off near the open here. I didn't think it was going to push up past this golden pocket, past the 0.786 fib. You also open right there at 247.33 resistance and rejected. The high of day was 247.19. Pretty close there. And how did we end up closing up, guys? We closed up at, big old bearish engulfing candlestick, reverted back to the mean, all right? So this is what I was telling someone in the Discord that, I was thinking was, going to happen over here. Instead of buying at 240, just wait for it to come back. It's probably going to revisit 237.23. It's probably going to bounce off the short-term moving average over here and then base around here for a little while. And then maybe it starts pushing up out of that base in the end and then push it up to new highs. And then you have another trending move to actually play. It's never good to just you clearly have something with relative weakness over here. Just buying into those is never really the best idea there unless you were doing so at a precise spot. Support somewhere you think buyers are going to step in. If you want to take a stab at it right here, there you go. But if it doesn't hold there, zooey mama. All right. If it doesn't hold here, you're coming down here in the golden pocket, 225, 230. If it doesn't hold 225, you come down 219.71 again, just like you found buyers last time. All right. So that's why, take your profits when you're there. It's like what I was saying earlier, guys, you're going to get more opportunities, but you got to be taking the profits so you can reposition that same exact money into, you can use it on the same ticker weeks later. All right. But you got to take your profits so you can reposition. All right. The market's always moving your money. Honestly, if you're an active trader, money should also, be moving week to week. Because, the market kind of changes. And a lot of times, we're talking months out on your options. They're pumping 50 to 100%. Almost every single week you get these. Got to be taking your profits, guys. And I don't want to sound like that annoying guy, but I will be for your sake. Because you need to do it. Okay? Bullpen it. Waiting for a massive move over here. The key, break above this high that we put in today. All right? Break above Friday's high, 419.99. If you can get above there, I'm going to put an alert. Move that one actually right here. Get above 420. And this thing is breaking out of your pennant. You are probably starting to move straight up to 439.74 over the next 1 to 2 trading sessions. And then you're probably going higher. We're going to have to see if you find sellers in the golden pocket. But I could see something like this starting up here. You had a double miss. Microsoft and Meta. Double beat, still managed to sell. Tesla sells massively, gets bought up off the double miss, and then pumps to 420. What? You open down here around 390. You come down here minus 6%. You pump back up 4%. And then in the end, you run 7 to 8%. Oh my God. What happened? Okay. Absolute freaking insanity. What was going on with that over there? Okay. Massive moves. The thing is right here at the trend line. If you could just break that, which that's why I say get above 420, get above Friday's high here. Yeah, this thing's going to start pushing. All right, so just be patient on it. But this thing is compressing here, consolidating right here, reverting to the mean at the weekly 9. This point, sometime, guys, this thing's going to snap. It's right here at the apex. This next week, it's going to break out one direction or the other, and I'm going to be here for it. Breaks out to the downside, it will be very sad. I don't think it'll happen, but, I'm betting on a breakout to the upside. I will add on a breakout to the upside, and, we'll go from there. Worst case scenario, you break down from here, you're going to revisit 354.64, almost guaranteed. That's that. Microsoft over here, guys, we're talking 410.29 to 405.57. That is the buy zone. I'm not even going to say I'm going to be buying down there. You know, I might. I'm just going to wait and see if this thing comes back up here. It's probably not, you know, in the near term over here. But, you know, give it a month. It'll probably be back up around 440. We're going to have to see how this pans out. But, you know, 4-hour RSI, we'll point out, is almost in oversold territory already. So if you come down into here, chances are buyers will buy you up from here and revert you back to the mean, probably back up to 425-ish. All right, you come down here, daily moving averages, they're going to be sitting right here, 525, 527, not 525, 425, 427. You know, so buy zone down here for move back up to like over here, 525, 425. My apologies. Meta, guys, you did have earnings. I will not be surprised if this thing pulls back now. I will not be surprised at all. Revert to the mean over here. Give us a pullback to 663.87. All right, that's going to be where you have the daily 9. And if you can retest all the way down here at 638.40, that's where it gets real juicy. That is the big buying opportunity there because that likely gets bought up. I'm not going to say straight up to new highs, but you could probably catch a $30, $40 move probably in 1 to 2 trading sessions if you're buying that 638.40 dip. All right, so that's Meta over here. And I'll just point out the weekly chart, guys, insanely bullish. Dips are clear as their buying opportunities. There's no denying it. Anybody who's bearish on this thing, I don't know what to tell you. You're not reading the chart correctly. It is what it is. I'll show you how to read it correctly, I promise. But you got to just take what you know and throw it out the window because if you're bearish on this thing, oh boy. Like, yeah, you get the pullback, but you think this thing's somehow going to come all the way down here and crash? Nah, get the heck out of here, okay? I think it's going to pull back too. Doesn't mean we're bearish on it. Not at all. Nvidia, we talked about this beginning of the video. This is, you know, clear as day. This is the clear as day money-making opportunity that I am seeing right here. All right, so, you know, over here, you had a chance to take your profits if you were buying down here. I personally did not. I didn't think it was going to fall flat in its face the next day. And I did think after yesterday, I'm like, oh my God, 3 back-to-back large lower wicks here. This thing's about to go. It did not go. Newsflash, it did not go. But give it literally one more day, one more red day here. You come down towards the lows over here. Got the hiccups. Of course, it's not a Henry video over here without the hiccups popping up. They literally pop up every single video. It's just because I talk so fast. I'm guessing air gets in there. I don't freaking know. But, you know, I'd rather have hiccups than, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I actually, you know, I'd rather have hiccups than, I don't know. I think I got a good speaking voice than a lisp. I get hiccups literally every time I make one of these videos. That's what I'm saying, all right? So, you know, I'd rather have, it's not the worst problem to have is what I'm getting at, okay? But over here on Nvidia, guys, if you have one more red day and you come back down to this 116.25 low, you're going to have this thing getting hit again at 36.86 over there. And, you know, it really is like 36.85. All right, you hit that spot, you get bought up almost immediately. Just give it 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to have a 10% move. Okay, just wait. You come down here, maybe come a little bit lower, maybe hit that 115 psych level. You got, you know, a little support sitting down there. Okay, we see you. We see you. You come down there. I'm going to mark it out. This is where you want to hold this week on Nvidia. All right, coming into this week, you want to hold 113.22 to 115.14. If you start taking out 112, that's when you have a risk of coming all the way back down to your 190 bucks. $195, not 190, guys. I know that would be exciting. But, you know, real talk, you get this chance to buy down there. You get the chance to sell this. All right. I guarantee March calls going from here up to here, they're going to move at least 50 to 60%. That's the money making opportunity I'd speak of. And if you bought the low right here, where I was really loading up right over here, 121, 120, guess what? You're barely going to be down when it comes over here. You're like, you know, you bought stuff. If you're buying with time, like I'm always talking about, straight up, this consolidation means nothing to you. It doesn't matter because you know you're about to be able to sell at higher prices. You just got to be patient, okay? Okay? And also, short-dated contracts on NVIDIA, they don't even pay. It's not even worth paying, trading them. Straight up, dude, you get a pump. You get a pump over here. I saw it firsthand. I had bought NVIDIA a lot of. They were 130C. I wanted to, you know, play it over here because, you know, short-dated options are, you know, fun. It's so fun. It's so fun gambling, but at the end of the day, is it really fun? Because every time I take, a lotto, position like that, I take a weekly, the thing freaking dies on me. I'm like so excited. I'm like, oh my God, I hit a couple 100%er. The thing dies on me. I'm up, 80%, 85% over here on my weekly 130Cs. I had 2 of them. The thing, literally opens down here the next day. I'm like, and then I went from being up 85% to down 50% or something. I'm like, how did this move like this? What is being priced into these options that it's moving like this on barely gapping down? Barely gapping down. I'm like, oh my God. So, I'm just going to tell you, if you got the itch to trade, these weekly options and really gamble like that, if you got that itch, I'll tell you, I'm someone with the itch that gets it sometimes. I'm telling you, I lose money almost every single time on it. It's literally like going to the casino and just, throwing out your money on one of these machines. It legit is exactly like that because it is such a gamble. You have to catch such a big move for these to really hold their value and for you to get paid. It's not worth it unless you're, strictly a day trader there who's sitting here selling over there, and, just scalping them. It's not even worth playing these things. Like, your itch might keep coming, but, just don't scratch it. It'll go away eventually. Just, start making money the proper way, all right, the safer way. And I promise you're going to get a whole lot more excited about that than, taking these gambles. Because the gambles at the end of the day, they're going to make you nervous like they make me. And then you got the other, the other end of the stick where, you can put on, a lot of size and risk there with, a position, that has low risk. And you're like comfortable sitting in a red position. You're fine with it because if you just have patience and give it some time, you'll have a chance to sell up here at 130, 135, probably next week. You get the dip down to start the week over here. By the end of the week, you probably do get bought up here to 130. All right. But I do think 135, 140 is incoming after this next dip. Just my opinion. Okay. So that kicks us off here to the chip stocks. Closes out the Mag 7 stocks. It starts us with the chip stocks. Guys, you rejected the short-term moving average. You're right here in the middle of this range until SMH really gets a meaningful breakout and holds that breakout. We're talking gets a breakout, retest, and then breaks through that low or that high. Okay, until you get something like that. Okay, where you break out and then pull back and then break out to new high. This thing's a mess and don't even go off of this. Okay, real talk. This thing has now had a false breakdown and a false breakout. There's no reason to even, no reason to go off of these things for your decisions right now. If it's stuck in a range and it has just faked this out twice on both sides, there's absolutely no reason. Wait for the confirmation if you're going to be, making decisions off of this thing. If you want to get bearish on chips, wait for this. Okay, because then you probably get a decent, you're probably having a really bad spill at that point. But or wait for this and then you start up a trending move and you could play that. Okay. Something that speaks to me when I look at this SMH chart is MU. This is a piece of garbage. Why are you going to trade this garbage? You don't have a reason to. You literally have no reason to trade this crap. Just don't. All right. Just don't. AVGO over here, guys. I really like how the weekly candle closed out. You closed out with a big fat weekly hammer candlestick. You see that arrow? That's because I drew the arrow when we were on this day right here. I drew it because I thought we were going to come a little lower. You did not. You didn't give Henry Boy his buying opportunity. It was kind of sad to see this thing freaking go, literally get 10% higher than where I wanted to start buying it. All right. I was being a little too patient. Too patient. Okay, sometimes you don't get them all, and that's honestly what I'm also gonna say. This game, it's not perfect, guys. All right, your entries, your exits, they're never gonna be perfect. Don't act like they're ever gonna be perfect. You're gonna beat yourself up. Just don't do it because you can't be perfect. It is what it is. Weekly candle, extremely sexy. Bounced off the weekly 21, but where are you? You're right at the weekly 9, so I would not be surprised if you consolidate around here for the next 1 to 2 weeks. On the daily time frame, you're also right here at the, daily 9, except also, daily 21 and daily 9. You're at the short-term moving averages. You just had a big move down. This is actually just your reversion to the mean. So, how I see this playing out is probably going to go one of two ways. I don't think you're going to fade the weekly candlestick and make it under a low. I don't think that's going to happen. You have a massive lower wick on that. What I think is more likely is you pull back, you put in another nice lower wick here, but it's not as big. All right. And then you get bought up by end of the week. And now you close Friday up over here. And then, you know, the next 1 to 2 weeks at one point, you're going to get back up there. You're going to have that week up there. All right. So that would be like another mini hammer candlestick printing right here. Maybe you close out the week right over here around 230. Following week, you push up to 250. All right. Because we have that weekly hammer candlestick, I don't think it's in the cards for us to do this. I just don't. It's just very likely that that is not going to be the case. You're going to have the golden pocket right here. All right. So one scenario is you come down here. The other scenario is you start just pushing. Okay. And you get above Friday's high here at 226.80. And you just start pushing up here to 251.88. This weekly candle is no joke, guys. This pullback just got confirmed as a buying opportunity. The buyers, clear as day, stepped in. They know what they have here, and they want higher prices for it. I think it's going higher. So that's AVGO. ARM, guys, you know, I've been highlighting this one. I haven't traded this one ever since, you know, I got it over here and got to sell this freaking spike up. You know, I'm just going to say, guys, all right, not this spike. It's this one over here. But I freaking wish. Look at this thing. What the heck is that thing, eh? You think that's going to be happening? No. All right. This is a piece of garbage stock over here. Psych. I just sent my chair down. Oh, my God. Hit it with my foot. Oh, my God. Got this really nice chair, guys. For this, I didn't have a nice chair. It was not the worst chair, but it pissed me off. This? Oh, no. I went shopping for this one. I got exactly the one I wanted. And it is now nice. It's like a suede chair. It's nice. Nice. It's got a footrest if I really want to use it. I don't want to use it, but it's got it if I want to. Over here on ARM, guys, you did pull back over here, retested the upper trend line of this massive pennant here, and you did find buyers. In the weekly time frame, guys, holy sweet baby Jesus, you exploded out of this pennant, out of, you know, all this consolidation, pulled back, retested it, printed a nice hammer candlestick over here in the weekly time frame. Screw what the market's doing. ARM wants to move higher. You have earnings coming up next Wednesday. I don't know what's going to be announced in these earnings, but if I had to guess, it's going to send you to new highs. That's my opinion on ARM. TSM over here, guys. Weekly hammer candlestick, very similar to AVGO. I know Nvidia, King Nvidia looks terrible over there. I understand. To me, it doesn't look terrible. To most people, it looks terrible. SMH doesn't look good. Market doesn't look good with what just happened on Friday. But keep in mind, big picture, guys. The market keeps having these chances to sell, and it's not selling. All right? It keeps getting bought up to new highs. It's probably going to get bought up to new highs this time. All right? You got a big, fat green candlestick here. I'm not going to call it a hammer, but you do have a long lower wick over here, longer than the upper wick, stemming right here from the weekly 21 EMA. All right, get above 212.60. You're probably going to start pushing back up to 226.40. All right, but you did reject 212.60 on Friday. AMD, guys, we're just going to go over support and resistance over here. Your support is 114.45 and 111.31. Your resistance 117.90, 121.83, and 125.65. Get above there. We're talking 132. That's going to be a big spot. Moving on over here to the bit of corn, guys. Today, nobody liked what Mr. Trump was saying about tariffs. They did not want to. They did not want to hear it. And they're like, what are you doing, dude? Why are you doing this? We just want to have good and easy times over here. We don't want to fix things. We don't want to do that. No, you don't have to change things. The market does not like it, but the market's going to have to go through it regardless, ladies and gents. So let's talk about it. Bitcoin over here, it also didn't like it. And now what are we going to be watching? We're going to be watching the golden pocket here. All right. Either the short-term moving average you're going to hold here, or you're going to sweep this 97.750 low here, test the golden pocket, and probably find buyers there. I'm not really sure how this is going to go. 4-hour RSI getting oversold marks most of our bottoms here in the short term. So this is what I am personally going to be watching over here on Bitcoin. You know, with how this is set up right now, after that last 4-hour candle there, I can see this thing coming back down here. 4-hour RSI is oversold. People panic. And what happens, guys, on the weekly chart? Oh, actually, never mind. It was this week. On the daily chart, you're going to have another lower wick there. And if you get another lower wick around the same spot, it kind of confirms that that is going to be treated as support. That is going to be somewhere where, you know, demand is. Buyers want to lift it up. Okay, so that will be confirmation that yes, dip equals buying opportunity. I still think this is set up to move up to new highs. All right, I know it's taking its time, but you could see this thing has been loading here for a while now. Maybe it does another one of these things. Probably not, but maybe it does. Again, probably not. You just broke out from this thing. I do have to assume we're going to be moving higher. You did already have that measured move here. You definitely did. You had 40,000. You had double that measured move. It's probably going higher from here. You just got to be patient on it, okay? MSTR, I'm going to say this thing honestly looks like poop right now compared to what Coin is doing. I think if this thing dips down Monday or Tuesday, I think it's probably going to find a bottom here. I don't know if it's going to hold this golden pocket. I really have absolutely no idea. You already did hold it. You held it one time. You held, when you had this move over here, you held this golden pocket. You can see right there, all right? You found buyers right over there. Okay, so you held that. You're holding the next one too. I don't know if it's going to hold. You're breaking down that under that trend line right there. For all I know, this could come down here to 303.80 over here. But you hit over here, daily RSI around 40. You start bouncing back normally. Okay, so that's what I'm paying attention to over here on MSTR. Coin is the one that's really not looking all that bad. Weekly candle is a nice doji candlestick. What I will say is you had this breakup from the falling wedge, the retest over there, golden pocket test from this most recent one. Okay, I could just point that out right here. All right, golden pocket test right there. All right, so everything you wanted to see over here, it happened. You held the short-term, the weekly moving averages here, and now you had that first initial breakout week right there, and then you're just consolidating for 2 weeks. But it's important to see that buyers are still holding. I do think that is important. I do think that is, the key to the next move is buyers are holding after we had the breakout from that bullish, that bullish setup and the reversal setup down here that, buyers, if they're going to step in, they're going to step in right around here. They did. Okay. So now it's important that they're holding. I do think this is still going to be pushing up above 350 over the coming weeks. You really do just got to wait for Bitcoin to break up, but this is set to move on that move. Okay. Now let's talk about some setups to watch into next week, all right? So I'm going to review the ones we already talked about. These are my favorite ones, are the ones we just talked about, all right? These are the things that I'm focusing on this week. Specifically, we're talking with, big size here. I'm loading up with April Nvidia calls. That is something that, I'm just going to say it doesn't matter what it does in the short term to me. I'm pointing out the buying opportunity over here. We'll just talk about Nvidia first because that's what's on my mind. That's what I'm going to be taking advantage of, full advantage next week, making the final buys. I'm just going to sit on it until we reach, 130, 135 to start taking profits on those. I think this is a big payday loading right over here. Last big payday we talked about, it was right here. And then we got another one right here. And then guess what? We're getting one down here, okay? So it's just loading, but the move, you come down here, you get up to here, $10, $15 move, you could play free money, okay? So that's that. This is one, I don't care what happens in the short term. I'm buying time for that exact reason. I just know at the end of the day, it's going to move back up to 135, 140. It's going to, have the retracement from this whole move. But in the short term, it's still probably going to reach 130, 135, probably specifically this 127.67, 130, 126 zone. It's probably at least going to reach that next week or, give it 1 to 2 weeks. We'll be here. But I do think we'll be 135, 140 at the end of the day. Am I going to, be in with most of that? Nah, I'm going to honestly trim when we're at 130. That's just the plan. I just want to lock in that payday. So that's why this is the first trade idea I'm going to put on your radar here. At the end of the video, I always go over these trade ideas going into the following week. But again, this is one that I don't care what happens in the short term. So I don't really want to hear about it. I talk about some things and, honestly, most people who've been watching the channel, they know just give Henry time. All right. Henry's fucking early, a lot of the time. It is what it is. That's why he talks about buying time, because he's early. All right. But you could always tell when someone just came to the channel, they think, oh crap, this guy knows what he's talking about. And they try blindly following stuff. And then boom, market pulls back and they're panicking because they bought short dated calls. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop doing that. All right. You can always tell. What position someone is in by the way they're commenting. You could very much so tell if someone is down money because they will just be negative and try and bash your boy over here. And it is what I understand. If you're down money, you're frustrated, but that's why I trade how I do. It's not going to work for everybody, but I'm a huge advocate that, if you're someone who works, if you're someone who can't look at the markets all the time and you want to build up this skill set of swing trading, exactly how I speak of with the Mag 7, the semiconductor stock, the thing that moves with the market. And you get in the habit of buying, we're going to say 2 to 4 months of time on every single thing you do. All right. That is a skill set that could pay so much over time. All right. But most people don't do that. Most people do what I was describing, the person who's just angry at life. All right. They do that. And that's why most people lose money in options trading. Over here, Goog, guys, explosive setup waiting to happen. Probably going to go off earnings. Probably going to see 215, 220 next week. But, clear as day, it's explosive. It's just, it just started here with the breakout today. Just got to give it some time. Even if earnings doesn't give it the biggest boost, if you get here pre-earnings 210 to 212, and then you pull back off earnings, buying opportunity over here. If it retests over here, I don't care what happens in the earnings call. All right, we're talking clear as day structure, crazy bullish over here on Goog. Same thing on Amazon that we had sitting over here, except way better. It's pretty much like that, except if this were to happen right above the previous high, right over here, all-time high, after pulling back for 5-6 months. That's what we got on Goog. The thing's ready. But third one over here, Amazon. This one is one with strength. This is one that I personally like, the 250C March calls. I do think this thing is going to be pushing up to a new high. Probably in the short term, you probably saw your pullback over here. All right. But it is going to depend on what the market does. All right. It doesn't have crazy relative strength like Goog. It did over here. But, Goog is the one with strength right now. It's the one that's going to pump into earnings. All right. If you pull back to start off the week on the market, I think it probably solid shot. You start getting bought up going into this Amazon earnings, over here on Thursday after the bell. All right. Tesla, clear as day, guys. This is number 4 on my list here. Oh my God. It is just waiting to break out over here. Okay. Honestly, if I had to, give these guys, numbers over here, I'm going to say number 1, Goog, number 2, Nvidia. I don't care what happens in the short term. That's the money printing right there. Goog, short-term momentum. Nvidia, the money printer, just sit on it. Give it some time. It's going to pay. All right. And then Tesla is another one. Give it some time. If you can break out above 420, this thing is going to go bonkers. All right. So this is definitely top watch next week for me. Those 3 that I just mentioned, those are my top watch out of anything I'm going to mention right here. Okay. So we talked about Amazon uptrend right there. Dips are buying opportunity. Probably going to continue going higher. All right. Microsoft over here, guys. Like I pointed out, 4-hour RSI is already almost in oversold territory. If you come down here into this 405.57 to 410.29 zone, you're very likely going to find buyers there, and then they push you back up to 425-ish, revert back to the mean, test the short-term moving averages. Just like over here, guys, how you had a move down over here, you're so far away from the short-term moving average, then boom, you had that big gap up the next day, and then big move, and then that move got sold, okay? But that was a $20 move here that occurred in literally 2 trading sessions right there. Gapped up there, and then you started going. I do think that could be what we have over here. ARM, guys, crazy strength with what happened today, but also just this, this chart with how it's setting up. Oh my gosh, it's getting ready for a big impulsive move to the upside. To new highs, 180 to 75 incoming. I'm not going to be taking anything into earnings because, honestly, I don't trust trading these. Honestly, anything besides the Mag 7 or semiconductor stocks, I like trading things that I know for a fact will be moving with the market. ARM trades on its own. And, while I was a fan over here, I wasn't a fan during all that crap. And at that point, no, I'd much rather just trade the Mag 7 stocks and stick to doing what I've been doing. We've been
it's easy.
We've been fucking killing it. All right, cost over here, guys. I gave you the pump before it came. You had the double bottom breakout over here. Okay, this neckline was at 944.28. You broke out above. You pull back into, I know it's not the prettiest thing. It doesn't always have to be the prettiest thing, but overall the structure remained bullish, and we were looking for that nice impulsive move up here into the golden pocket. Double bottom breakout target was 976.30. So if you broke above 944.28 over here, I was looking for a move up to 976.30. Why, guys? All right, I said conservative. Take the lower leg here. This is the longer leg going from here to this is the lower leg. $34. Take it from the neckline. Where does that bring you guys? Right over here. I guess I had different measurements at that point. No, I didn't. We came right up here to this resistance. You got your reactions. That's why I picked that level. All right. And that was also right in the golden pocket, which is why I picked the level. You're finding sellers off the 0.786 fib 2 days in a row here. You probably are going to pull back to 956.55. It's going to be a buying opportunity. You either pull back to 956.55 or you pull back to 944.28, and you're very likely going to find buyers off of that dip. Why? Because we have a big fat weekly bullish engulfing candlestick that almost stems straight up to the highs. Expect it to go something like this, where you get bought up this next week, maybe it ends up a flat week, and then you expand the next week into new highs. That's what I see over here on cost. LLY, guys, I gave you the breakout. I gave you it before it broke out when you started bouncing back above the short-term moving average. Literally, I think it was on this day right here. And then you pushed up here. I said, hey, now it might be time to go. And then you started moving. Now above 811.35, I put it on your radar. In yesterday's video too. Why? Because above 811.35, guys, you have nothing until 846.46, and you're probably going to start making your way finally into the retracement of this move down, which is the golden pocket. 846.46. Why is that level so important, guys? Get above there, you're going to start your trek up to new highs. This double bottom, take the lower leg of it, the smaller leg, that's a $120 move. Break above the neckline of that. Guys, that brings you up to straight up new all-time highs. Look at that. 125 up here. We'll stretch it to the extra $5 there, 125. Straight up, LLY is probably going to be moving back up the highs. I want to participate in this move. I'm just waiting on it. But I'm sure once we start breaking 846.46, we're going to start seeing a consolidation or something like that. And that's going to give us an opportunity. I think we're going to see something like this at some point. All right. And then this opportunity, you're going to have, all right, weekly trend. This thing is going to start moving up, all right? So just watch my cursor. All right, right over here. Let's take off the magnet. You see these short-term moving average right here and right here. You see it? They're going to start moving up. That's going to start moving up. You're going to see the 9 cross above the 21 right there, all right? And then price pulls back and maybe a flag or just some sort of consolidation to that. Break and retest right off of our double bottom neckline right there, 846.46. That is the perfect setup that I see loading over here that I think we're going to be able to play. Just give it some time. And, if you're new to the channel, guys, I'm sorry I take so much time talking about these, but, if you do give me the time, if you do put in the work, all right, like I put in the work, if you just put in your part and you just watch these videos with intent, you will literally know what the market is always fucking doing. I'm sorry for my French, but I'm passionate about this. You'll literally know always when things are setting up. You'll know well in advance when things are getting ready to set up. Then when they do set up, you are already prepared for it. So it's very easy to pull the trigger, and I'll remind you to pull the trigger, and then we get to play it, and then I'll remind you to take the profit. I make it very hard for someone not to make money on this channel. All right, I'm passionate about it. I hope you guys are making money. I hope y'all are fucking killing in this market. I really do. And yeah, all right, we're off to a good start to the year. We were off to a great end of the year. We're off to a really good start to the year now. I'm just going to say, I think we're setting up to have another bang. All right, then another leg up here on, honestly, all these trades. Everything's setting up again. I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. Oklo over here, guys. We're pointing this one out. On the dip over here. As you could see, this thing, I pointed out the dip over here, not over here, because this I didn't know about. I did point it out early the week, but not in the weekly update over here. This was not, something I pointed out over here. But as we could see, the dip did get bought right from the weekly 9. This is something that has consolidated for months and just broke out from this. This is week number 2 of 3 months of consolidation. This thing is going probably 50 plus. That's my opinion over here on Oklo, okay? Dips remain buying opportunities, but real talk, I do think this thing is probably going to go 50 plus. February cons, I like them. HIMS, guys, we got the new highs. I actually mentioned in the last video, I was like, we haven't gotten any crazy impulsive moves. We haven't even gotten a 10% day. We got the 10% day today. I literally mentioned last video, because I was like, now that we got up to new highs, price discovery mode's about to happen. This is normally where we get the 10 to 20% moves. Straight up. This is normally where that happens, is when you're breaking into the new highs. That just happened. Okay. So congrats if you made money off that.
It's easy.
I know I've been calling it out this whole time, guys, but honestly, I didn't play this at all. I did not. I did call out, all of the buying opportunities. I've called it out when it was setting up over here. I called it out on this day of the breakout. I called it out on the retest of where you broke out from over there, putting the hammer candlestick. I called it out on this breakout day. I called it out on the retest day over here. I then called it out on this. Someone could have printed money over here on HIMS, and it wasn't me. All right, it wasn't me. I'm kind of salty at that, but I'm also not. I hope you guys made money off this. I personally, like I said, I'm more comfortable right now putting size on the Mag 7 stocks. Like, I'm not comfortable putting size on these smaller names. I know you're not going to say, it's the smallest name there, $8 billion market cap. I really much rather trade the things that are moving with the market. And, those are what I'm comfortable with. I point out these other opportunities, but I can't say I trade all of them. I can't. HIMS over here, I really would have loved to take this trade and just, I wish I could have traded nothing else and just had a massive position down here, all right, and just rode this up, all right, but at the end of the day, I didn't. I hope you guys did. I hope you made money off it, and now we're at new highs. Now, 40+ incoming. That's HIMS. Pullbacks. Clears their buying opportunity. Over here on BA, guys, really nasty weekly candle, as you can see right there, but we did find buyers at the weekly 9, which is something I like. And then daily chart, I do think is still set up to move. So if you can get above 182.57, you probably are going to, well, I'm going to say get a daily close above 182.57 because you didn't over here. You didn't over here. You rejected 2 days in a row right there. And then you pull back the short-term moving average, pull back to the golden pocket right there, found buyers. If you can get the daily close above 182.57, this probably starts pushing up to 196.95. But if you can't, get the daily close, then scratch it. Don't even pay attention to it, okay? This just broke out from the downtrend over here. Now you're pulling back and you're above the short-term moving averages. Notice how you're retesting, all underneath the short-term moving averages. Now you're above it. So if you come back, expect buyers here. No guarantee, but expect buyers on the pullback to the short-term moving averages. You do have earnings right around the corner. We did have, this positive earnings reaction last time around. I'm not saying that's going to be the case here, but it could be the case. It could. All right. It doesn't look so bad to me. Schwab. All right. So this is what I'm going to point out. Like, guys, don't expect the market to massively sell right here. All right. This is not what tops look like. It's a perfect double top. We very rarely get a perfect freaking double top. All right. Especially something this big. Something like this where you build out a range like that. That makes sense. Okay. Because then you have this measure move to go off of. Okay. But if you have this double top, like the chances of you coming back down here, all right, and then actually seeing this measure move, it's so freaking low every single time. Like, it's just not something you should be paying attention to. If you see these things form, always shift your mentality to what I'm about to talk about right here. The dips are now buying opportunities. If you get up to new highs, just like SPY just did, it's a clear as day buying opportunity. Why is price going to come up here not to go higher? Prices want to go higher. They don't just want to come back up to where they had an equilibrium up here and then sold off. No, they only sold off massively, and the buyers saw this. Well, the market participants saw this as a buying opportunity. They pushed it back up for intent. Okay, they had intention behind this. Okay, it's going higher. If it pulls back, you got the inverse head and shoulders pattern going on. You're going to be putting in the right shoulder over here. I actually put this on your radar before it broke out over here. I put it on your radar right over here, and then on this day, I think it started breaking out, and that's when I put it, really put it on there. I was originally just looking for, it was actually on my focus list when it was down here. I was looking for the move up here into the golden pocket. You surpassed my expectations. You've ran up to new highs. This is why, guys, on the indices, don't expect us to have a major top in right now. Don't expect the market to start falling off a cliff. Straight up, this is a bank stock. This is the weekly chart. This thing wants to have another leg up. Maybe it can consolidate here around new highs, just like it did over here. All right. But in the end, it's probably going to have that. Probably going higher. All right. Again, bank stock. Probably going higher. So that dip is a buying opportunity over there in Schwab, clear as day. PLTR, this one I'm just going to point out here. Very strong stock. Monthly candle, printing a hammer candle over here. The last one we had was over there. The following month was an 18% month. Now getting an 18% month, and you're up here almost at $100. I do think it's possible that we get 100 plus on earnings next week. That is going to be on Monday after the close. Same concept I just talked about. We typically don't get these picture perfect double tops over here, especially not if they have a massive, range there. They a measure move, because now you get that 23% to the downside. You're really going to see this move? You're really going to see it go from 80 down to 50? No, it's unlikely, okay? All right, you got this inverse head and shoulders type of structure to you right here. If you can't see it clearly, I got you right there. All right, now you're pushing up to the high above 84.80, guys. I do think it's going to start pushing up to $100, but it does have the earnings, so chances are it's going to bring it up right up there. Just my opinion with how this thing is set up. Weekly chart, got the pullback, got verified as a buying opportunity by the market participants. You're back up to highs, probably going higher. Uber over here, I'm just going to point out the strength over here in today. I'm just going to say, you sold massively, you got bought up, you're pretty much back in this range. You're not back in the range, but you're right underneath it. If you can get back above 67.12, get your daily close above there. All right, you're back up in this range, and we're back to looking for this thing to break above 68.84. And at that point, big move happens. I know it's taken a while. I understand. All right, you had your first initial move over here. I understand it's taken a while to get the actual move here, but things take time. They take time, and you could see it's getting ready. It's finding rejection here at the weekly short-term moving averages, but we are finding buyers on the dip right under it, and that's exactly what you want to see. If you were to get the rejection and then boom, you have a big fat red week over here closing near the low, that's bearish. You're probably treating this as straight up rejection. You're probably coming back down to the low. But what happened? You didn't do that. You printed the nice lower wick there. Buyers are still motivated. So that's something. BABA. Dip is a buying opportunity. I don't know exactly how low this thing dips, but I'm watching 90.46 and 95.52. I'm only going to be participating if it comes down to 90.46. Okay? The golden pocket is going to be right under 90.46. It's going to be at $89. So I'm going to take that off. We did find sellers here in this most recent golden pocket from the most recent move down. All right. But if you can get some golden pocket inception going here, that would be nice. We get that actually a lot over here on BABA. We get golden pocket reactions pretty often here. So I am going to be looking for that move. I'm going to actually put the alert down there. We're going to go like that. We'll go like that. Next one is Baidu. It's also going to be China. I am going to be looking for buyers on this move. I am not sure if they are going to step up here at 88.58 or down here around 85, which is the 84.50, which is the golden pocket. You can have short-term moving averages here. And then if they don't hold up and you're not really starting that trending move up, all right, then we're talking, buy the retracement here and play it for a move back up here up to 90. Okay. But you have a double bottom forming right here. Your neckline is going to be right over here. You technically, you could see where the rejection is happening right over there. All right. But, real neckline of the double bottom is going to be 95.52. As soon as you could break above there, hey, $16 move to the upside is probably going to be coming. All right. And that point, you're almost back up to the highs. Web. Also right here in the golden pocket. So this is just, the ETF here for China. Okay, the China. As you can see, golden pocket test right there. You did find, sellers. And yeah. Now, if we come down and we find buyers on the next golden pocket, that will be picture perfect. But will be more perfect is going to be if you just find buyers here at the short-term moving average, then move back up. Now, with what Trump is doing, I really have no idea. This guy says something and stocks have major reactions. Oh my gosh, I forgot how this guy made the stock market move. It's pretty insane, but I'm liking it. I'm going to be completely honest. It's really not all that bad. I kind of like that the president can, just really just every single day have a massive move come in the stock market. Because that's volatility. As traders, you want volatility. They set up your opportunities. Whether you're a long trader or you trade both sides or whatever it is, the volatility feeds. Even if you're the long trader, you look for the volatility. Volatility meaning downside moves. You look for that. Why? It sets you up. Okay. And if you are an intermediate or not intermediate trader, if you are an intraday trader, the volatility is what feeds you. All right, up or down, it feeds you. If you're a scalper over there, you're a day trader. That is what you want in a stock market. I'm liking it. But, you know, I'll also like the boring stock market that just goes straight up. You know, that's not bad, guys. We made plenty of money doing that. You know, the following year, we had a lot of big dips, but, you know, at the end of the day, we had some big trend moves that happen. And that is the easy money environment here. What the heck is this thing? All right. Like, you know, after the dip, I know it's scary, but after that, did we not have that easy money environment, the trending move? Like, these are the easy money, you know, moves right here. This is literally this, is literally this, is literally this. What we just had, and we're probably about to break out from, is literally the consolidation period that then leads to those easy money trending moves. All right. I'm telling you right now, with Trump in office, now I'm seeing it. I don't know if we're going to have, you know, like, I'm serious. We're going to have random times where he just tweets something out and, you know, or not even tweets, but you're going to have all these news people. I'm going to see it through the tweet version. He says something, the stock market moves. I'm just going to be seeing it through the tweets. You know, I follow some news accounts over there on Twitter. But yeah, I'll shut up now. 1 hour, 10-minute video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are, you know, feeling plenty prepared for next week. I personally am really excited to buy this dip over late. I mean, you guys heard my excitement earlier. I'm excited about Nvidia. I'm excited to see what Goog does over there. And like I said, guys, you know, I'm just kind of in the mode of let's take the profits. And, you know, if Nvidia is going to keep giving me buying opportunities there, I'm going to use those on the April expiration specifically, just because I think it is a guaranteed, you know, I think it's a money printing over there up to 130, 135 probably in the next week, but 135, 140, give it, you know, 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. With that being said, guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. I appreciate y'all, love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next one. I almost forgot. I'm going to be running this until Sunday. It's going to end on Sunday. You can use code META for 50% off of your first payment. Doesn't matter what plan you are on. First payment will have 50% off with code META. Link is down below. That being said, appreciate y'all. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.